Hello, adventurers, and welcome to Dice Pirates Duet, a D&D actual play. Tonight's session is in celebration of my lovely wife's successful dental surgery. Congratulations, Lisa, on having a full set of teeth. We definitely have to get you a better webcam so that people can see all the way to the very back of your mouth where your new tooth is located.
Yeah, full set of teeth, unlike my character who's missing a tusk.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. My name is Kevin Treadaway. Below me is my lovely wife, Lisa. And we are playing through the adventure included with the new Dungeons & Dragons Essentials Kit, The Dragon of Icespire Peak. This is a little bit different from other actual play sessions that you might be familiar with because we are using the new sidekick rules in that Essentials Kit to play this game one-on-one, or as it's more poetically known, a duet. Two-player D&D is definitely different. It has a bit of a different flow. We've been kind of learning as we go. Would you say that's accurate, Lisa?
Very, very accurate. Very.
So we may fall flat on our faces as we proceed, but we're also aware that can be fun to watch. Now, we're doing our best to follow the adventure's recommendations for sidekicks, but I'm going to be honest, these sidekick rules are kind of sparse, and that is putting it nicely. But as we get deeper into the adventure, I may make some changes. We may change the number of sidekicks in the party. We're still figuring that out. I think when we have a chance to have a few more combats, we'll have a pretty good feel for where we're at. We're using Roll20, and most of our combat rolls will be made in that software, but I'll still be relying on good old-fashioned paper for reference, initiative, hit points, and, of course, my lovely real-world die for any secret rolls that is a DM's prerogative. Some of our combat will occur with full tokens. Other encounters will occur entirely in the theater of the mind. Now, before we begin, I would like to thank the lead writer of this adventure, Christopher Perkins, and the very talented team that worked on it. I'm also adapting some of Jeff Preston's so-called 60 terrible character portraits. That would be Rhythm and Yezreel, for those who are paying attention. And a few sets purchased from the Roll20 Marketplace, Meditating Monkey's Token Borders, Gabriel Pickard's Vile Tiles, and the D&D Monster Manual. The lovely illustration of Lisa's character was created by Lisa herself. Okay, let's get started. And Lisa, why don't you start with what happened to Quel on our last adventure and what's getting ready to happen to Quel on this adventure?
Okay, well, last adventure, let's see. We had arrived at Phandalin, and she'd chosen their first task from the job board, which is basically to head down south.
Yep, that's correct.
South?
Yep.
Head down south and talk to a midwife, and try to convince her to come back into town because, there's a dragon around and she'd probably be a little safe, at least a little safer.
Mm-hmm.
Went down there and found that she really needs some help because a manticore was trying to break into her home and eat her.
Giant lion size, got bat wings, terrible attitude, loves to eat meat of any sort.
Yes. Does not care if it's sentient meat. So I talked to the manticore. Quel talked to the manticore because that's a little too powerful, and it was intelligent. At least it could talk. And basically, it told her that it was hunting here because the dragon had pushed it out of its own territory. So she ended up bribing it to leave for about 10 days. And leave the area and try to, but it did not promise that it wouldn't come back if it couldn't find good hunting, which fair, I guess.
But you did actually do a great job, like sort of selling why Adabra the midwife should basically leave this windmill she was using to grind reagents and come to stay in Phandalin. And she did agree that she would come into the town within the 10-day. So ultimately, a big success. You got back to town. You reported your success to the townmaster Harbin Wester, or to be more precise, to the townmaster Harbin Wester's door, behind which the townmaster was cowering.
Yes, as he continues to cower, as I've never laid eyes on the man, not yet.
And yet, in many ways, you've glimpsed into his soul, it would seem.
He literally paid Quel under the door 1 gold coin at a time.
Well, you got to be precise in these matters. So, to continue, hopefully moving from success to success, you have now looked at the critical notices and have fastened on to this notice related to a dwarven excavation quest. Approximately half a day out of town to the southwest are a series of dwarven ruins that are being excavated by a pair of dwarves, and they've been out in the field for quite some time, so long that they don't really know that there is a white dragon in the area, and Harbin Wester needs someone to get out there and warn them, and for the hopefully simple task of just getting out there and letting them know that there's a white dragon and returning, you will be paid 50 gold pieces, probably one at a time, slid under the door.
Probably. Now, so I guess that's a kind of clear. Unlike with the midwife, we're not actually expected to convince him to come back.
That is correct.
Okay. We'll try to convince him to come back, but
And so, having decided to give one of your retainers, Pete, a rest, you are going to be going along with that oil to your vinegar, that moonlight to your sunshine, Yezreel, the aristocratic, quite haughty, quite snarky elf.
Yep. I mean, clearly she's bored. She ended up following us in secret when we went to go talk to the midwife. So, clearly she needs something.
Well, that evening, after eating, encountering the Manicore is definitely known to take it out of you, and you have no trouble falling asleep, though, unfortunately, you do have some trouble during your sleep as you're kind of half awake, often tossing and turning. You keep falling into this rambling series of dreams where you're being chased through like past all of these rotten, crumbled gravestones of Never Death Cemetery, pursued by this ginormous shadow of a white dragon. And no matter how far you crane or try to look over your shoulder or see where it is, you can never quite spot it. And finally, you awaken in a cold sweat about half an hour before dawn. But you know what they say, there's nothing like an early start.
Yep. Yeah. Probably Quell's an early riser in any case, so that kind of works.
So you get your gear, which you'd already taken care of, stowed, and get it all on. Head downstairs to have a breakfast. Toblin is actually asleep at this early hour, but one of the other innkeeper, his wife is actually up and just getting porridge ready for breakfast. And Yezreel is also there. She's sitting right next to the fire. Maybe she's already eaten because she doesn't seem to be thinking about food or anything like that. Now, of course, this game takes place in a traditional fantasy world, but you get the distinct impression that if this fantasy world had watches, she would look at hers, then look at you in kind of in askance.
Oh,
as if to say, what took you so long?
Well, like she does, like she even needs a full. I'm not going to say anything, but it's like don't. She's an elf. She only sleep trances for 4 hours anyway. So
true. She simply like raises a single eyebrow as you go to your table and eat a very hearty breakfast, and then as the sun casts long, pleasant shadows across the buildings of Phandalin, you are ready to set forth to the dwarven excavation.
One question, since it came up last time, when at any point is there like an indication on my map where we're actually going, like where these dwarves are?
Yeah, no. You actually like the notice did not contain that, but the person that like was in the town. The person in the town master's hall totally gave you directions. Like had this like sort of crude but very functional map of the area and showed you exactly where to go. There's basically you'll take the miner's trail outside of town and then literally sort of point at a distant mountain peak and stay on that. And he tells you you'll run right into a canyon, and from there you'll come upon the dwarven excavation.
Okay, we'll just having eaten, we will set out.
Okay, so is there any particular way you're going to travel? There's only two of you, so a traditional party order might not be like particularly necessary. But if you do nothing or say nothing, Yezreel is going to basically follow behind you at about 10 to 15 feet.
That's fine. She has a short bow. That's fine. It's like I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to work with her, and if it makes her feel better to walk behind me and pretend that she's not with me, fine. As long as she doesn't run away.
Well, it is daylight. There's plenty of visibility. You would know that being a person of skills and like utility, an expert as it's called, she would be an ideal scout. But of course, the situation might not call for it in this case, and you might not want to particularly press in this case. But nevertheless, with your training as a bringer, you do think about that.
Yeah, I certainly do, but I'm still trying to learn and figure out how to sort of deal with Yezreel.
Okay, so you basically set foot outside of Phandalin. The weather continues to hold. It is. I think I said it was we're in late summer, but and up this far up north, that means that the mornings can be quite chilly, but so far reasonably pleasant. And you set out on the road on the miner's trail, which is what you can see in the thing to the south, right here. And did that show up?
1 second. Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing it on the main screen, which is weird, because it should be showing up on the main screen. So you can see it. Oh, there.
Yeah.
Well, I can see yours. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. There we go. I just remembered how it's weird. Okay. Technical difficulties. All right, so you set forth on the miner's trail. It does indeed peter out, but by the time that you get into these low foothills, you are able to kind of focus your eyes on a distant ridge line, and at that point, you simply just head on and hope that you don't end up wandering too far afield. Give me 1 second here, and let's check the map. Okay, so here we are in lovely Phandalin, where we lay our scene. And, okay. And you don't encounter anything unusual. I mean, you see no signs of recent orcs. You see no goblins, which are rumored to infest the area. You see no signs of brigands, and you're, of course, watchful this entire time. And every so often, you scan the skies looking for a telltale speck or a silhouette or a giant creature, wondering in this bright sunlight if its white body would glisten or just blend into the soft blue. But you don't really encounter anything. After about 4 or 5 hours, you do, in fact, following that distant mountain peak, arrive at the entrance to a canyon. Right here. There you go. And there are some encouraging signs. You see, like, some ruts of, like, a small hand cart, and not much. It's not like a lot of travel. It's more like you can definitely see that there's been some recent travel due to, like, soft ground when it had just rained, things like that, but not heavily traveled.
Okay. Well, that's actually, yeah, that is an encouraging sign, but I don't actually see anybody at this.
No. I mean, it basically leads into a canyon.
Okay. Let's try some. Basically, I kind of look around. I kind of look back. I assume Gezrel's still like walking like 10 paces behind.
That would be accurate assumption, yes.
Gezrel,
What? How much further is it going to be?
why don't you scout ahead a bit? I think we're getting closer.
Why me?
You're the expert, and you're a lot quieter than I am.
Well, that's certainly true. How far ahead do you wish me to scout?
Just to the next bend.
So, Lisa, how far back are you planning to stay back? 30, 50 feet?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so, like, she warily readies her short bow and then sets off into this narrow canyon. Go ahead and, let's see here. Make me a stealth check.
For her or for me?
For her.
There we go. Hold on.
Making a roll. Okay, so she basically, like, moves away. You're not sure if it's hard to tell. She's not being terribly stealthy. You're not really sure if it's because she's not really paying attention, or I don't know, the way her shoulders are hunched, maybe she's just nervous. It's not the first time you've seen her nervous.
No, definitely not.
But she does turn the corner without incident, and after a moment, like, before you can even sort of close the gap, she sort of peeks her head back around the edge and says, "There's a giant door! Everything's quiet!"
I just sort of nod and walk up to meet her.
Okay, so you turn the corner and see what the heck she's talking about, and let's go to the map. All right, hold on. I'm going to have to position it for our people playing at home. There we go. Can you see that okay?
I can see it.
So, all right, 1 second. Getting back to this. All right, so as I've described, at this point, you turn this bend and you do, in fact, see this giant wall of black stone, 20 feet tall, and it's both impressive and equally desolate. It's just like Yezreel said. There's nothing to hear here except the sound of wind, kind of like going through this like once great gate that has now fallen into complete disrepair, and one door just lies on the ground, the other one is hanging precariously by like one cracked stone hinge, and you can just glimpse through the gate the crumbled remains of walls and foundations. All is quiet.
Is there any visual sign that somebody's been through here, or like
Go
like
ahead and make
scattered?
Make me a perception check. Yes, actually, you rather quickly pick up the same thing you've seen before. You see a couple wheel ruts that don't look like a full wagon. They actually look like maybe someone's dragging a hand cart. And you see a few of them, implying that there's been one or two trips back and forth. And you also at this point detect some boot prints, and these are definitely like proper boots. They aren't like sort of crudely fashioned goblin or orc footwear. These are boots.
Okay, looks like we are on the right track. Okay.
Goody.
All right. Just like kind of loosen my sword in the scabbard a little bit and head through the gate.
Okay, you basically, I assume you can kind of peer through.
Yeah.
And then see what you can see. Let's go ahead and show you what you can see. So through the gate, the canyon opens up, and as I said, there are these like complete and utter ruins, but that seem to reveal a once thriving village. Several buildings, the ruins of an old well, but again, no real sign of much of anything. Like all is completely silent. Hold on. Let's see here. But when you turn to your right, to the east, you see a second wall. This one is not quite as big as the other one. The other one's like 20 feet. This one is 10 feet tall, partially collapsed, but still imposing. And you can see beyond it 3 piles of rubble have been like heaped. They look like literally stacked, like from, you know, not in a pretty way, like as like almost an excavation or someone, you know, organizing them. And then beyond those piles, you see a series of broad stone steps that rise up to what you guess is some kind of platform that you can't quite see it behind the wall, but it's all centered towards this low peak that you were heading towards to find this place. And you can see a facade of a stone temple cut directly into the side of the mountain itself. And it is flanked by these crumbling, life-sized these crumbling giant statues. I would say it says 10 feet or so of dwarves wearing cloaks, sort of posed very kind of ritualistically with their hands on top of like hammers. But there's something about the statues that is a little off compared to most dwarven architecture you've seen.
We still like you said. We still like in the canyon. Is there basically still sky above?
Yeah,
or...
there is. Yeah, so you're basically the canyon essentially ends at the face of this like mountain. Like the canyon goes sort of and then kind of chokes off right where this facade has been erected. Then there's a mountain that rises up and away. So this temple is essentially going into this small mountain.
Okay, so I kind of like take a couple steps towards the statues and kind of looking at them.
Well, right now, if the statues are like,
where are they? Are they not?
No. Like so here's you got the 10-foot tall the 10-foot tall wall right here. The statues are like here. So 50, 60, you know, 20, 50, 70 or 80 feet away. So you're not sure what's on the other side of this wall. That's why it's all blocked off.
But I can kind of see there's something weird about the statues.
Well, I mean, when I say weird, I mean you've seen dwarvish statues before. You've grown up in the city of Neverwinter. You know what dwarven carvings look like. I'll tell you what. I'll let you go ahead and make a simple. Actually, do you have religion?
I do.
Yeah, make a religion roll. Okay, so it all suddenly, it kind of like locks in and you realize why they look weird. They're smiling and the smiles on their faces are not pleasant. They're kind of nasty. Even, I mean, the granite itself is weathered by time, but even with that, you can see that these statues have this very kind of nasty smiling aspect. And then you suddenly remember that ritualistic pose and you know this to be what appears to be an abandoned or old temple of Abathor, the dwarven god of greed. Not a nice god. Very nasty, very harsh, and his followers are often just as nasty and harsh and greedy.
Okay, well, that's not especially encouraging, but I'll like start walking towards the that second wall there.
Okay, so as you start heading towards the second wall, Yezreel just falls in right behind you, as is her wont.
Yeah, I'm not exactly expecting any. Yeah. Is it still like really quiet?
Yeah, it's still very quiet, just wind.
Not even the sound of like excavations or.
I'll tell you what, go ahead and make me a perception check. Okay, and you can have Yezreel make a perception check as well.
Let's see. She doesn't actually have perception is wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I guess she's relying on you. So as you sort of walk into this courtyard, you don't really detect anything. And honestly, what happens next is like a little on the embarrassing side. As give me 1 second. As you're literally sort of walking up the steps of this temple, and you hear a voice from behind you go, "Who's that?" And you turn around and like see that there are two dwarfs who look to be eating lunch. They're like they have rations spread out between them, and they were like resting right here behind the rock pile. And neither you nor Yezreel noticed them because you just kind of were focused on the gaping black hole of the temple itself. So you suddenly like kind of whip around and you see these like two dwarves, not adventurers in any sense. They do have sort of thick clothing and heavy work gloves, but like it's clear that they're made for like working, not for adventuring or going into tombs.
Okay.
And they look very nervous.
Oh, it's like okay. Obviously, yes, gonna startle, but trying to recover is like, and good day.
They look at each other and look back at you.
Are you with the excavation group?
They look at each other, and then the sort of taller, thinner one kind of like tugs on his beard, and then he nods. Aye, that we are. Who are you?
My name is Quel of the Light League. This is my companion Yezreel.
Your friends? Yezreel literally snorts.
We're co-workers, companions, not boon companions, just both members of the Light League.
At that point, like the tall, thin one, like his eyebrows raised, he looks kind of like you see relief pass over him. His companion still looks just as dour. The Light League, that I've heard of. You're with the Light League.
Yes, I'm a paladin of Ilmater.
A paladin? Well, that's great. That's great news. Isn't that great news, Norbis? Norbis just stares at you. The other dwarf turns. My name is Daslin. This is, as I said, this is Norbis. And, yeah, we've been investigating this series of ruins, trying to see if there's anything of value here.
Understood. I'm not here to interrupt your work. I was sent to let you know about the dragon that has taken up home in the area. A white dragon.
The dwarf, the short one who's been talking to you, Dazzlin, he suddenly like gets to his feet. A dragon? Did you Norbis? Did you hear a dragon? Are you sure?
I've seen actually the signs of its breath on the land.
So there is God. There are times that I honestly think that the dwarven god Agreed is cursing us for trying to retrieve things of value from this place. I mean, you'd think he'd appreciate the idea at least. First we have trouble with the other things, and now this dragon.
What other things?
He and Norbis share another look. Well, is all you came here to do to warn us about this dragon?
Well, Specifically, our task was to warn you. But if you're having trouble, if there's some other trouble that you're in that I can assist you with, she's kind of like she's kind of standing up straight.
I mean, it's not like life or death or anything. I wouldn't feel right about just asking for your help. There may be an issue inside the temple. We've been encountering. He turns to the dour one, and Norbus just kind of like ochre jellies. Yeah, ochre jellies. We've been having a problem with ochre jellies.
Even do I know about ochre jellies?
You can sure roll nature. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a very nice roll. You do know about like jellies as a whole. They're generally not pleasant things to be around. They can usually climb up walls. They can climb on ceilings. They typically predate by dissolving their prey. They can be quite large. Yeah, ochre jellies they're not fun.
How many and how big?
Well, I don't want you to get alarmed. There's just the one that we know of. I'm pretty sure there's just the one. It's in the central chamber, and we can't get any further because the little fella's up on the ceiling, and you can't even search around. You see, these Abathor dwarfs, they're very greedy, selfish types. They don't trust anyone, and their temples, they're riddled with secret passages. But a person can't exactly go looking for secret passages if some kind of horrible snot's gonna drop on his head and just dissolve it to bone, you know?
No, that's yeah, exactly. Can you show me?
I'll be honest with you, Madam Paladin. We'd rather. It's not like you could miss it. It's straight in. I mean, I'll stay near the doorway, but we don't really want to get mean. We've been trying to figure out a way to try and maybe coax it out, but I don't think they like trail rations. I think they're more liking the things that wiggle and scream.
Meat, yes. Okay.
And I'll tell you what. If you and your lovely elf friend, companion, co-worker, were to clear out the ochre jelly for us so that we could have a good look around, maybe he turns to Norbus. Maybe we should get the Sinding Stones? And Norbus is like, mutter something that you can't quite make out. No, I think it's fair. I mean, it's not like we actually need to be separated now that we found the place. He turns back. I'm sorry. I didn't catch your name. Oh, it's Quel, like the bird.
No, Quel. Quelliana. Quel for short.
That's an odd. It sounds like an elvish name.
It is.
Aye. Anyway, have you ever seen anything like this? And he sort of like reaches into his pack and holds this cloth bundle, and he pulls the cloth away from the bundle. Give me a second here. To reveal... hold on. I'm not doing this right. There we go. A couple of intricately carved stones. And you can tell just by looking at them that they are clearly magical. These, he says, are Sinding Stones. You give one of these stones to someone you trust, and then you can go anywhere. I mean anywhere. The other side of the blooming world. The elemental plane of gold. And using the Sinding Stones once a day, you can send a message, and then they can send a reply. It's the most incredible magical device. It's just, we don't really need it since we were using it to talk to each other. One was in Fandolin, one was here, and once we moved our operation here, we just haven't needed them. But we do desperately need someone to get the ochre jelly out of that temple.
Okay, I think that's a very fair trade.
All right. So what you want to do is go in through these doors. We found one secret door, but unfortunately the passage beyond was collapsed. but you go and past a second series of doors down the main corridor. You'll come to the main temple area, and then be very careful. The last time we saw the beastie, he was up on the ceiling, above the altar. I guess you have to coax it down and deal with it.
Understood. All right. Come on, Yezreel.
Come on, what?
Into the temple.
Fine. After you.
Fine.
Oh, and if you should see any secret doors while you're there, please let us know. We can spike them open later.
Will do.
All right, so are you going to set foot in and let Yezreel just kind of follow close behind?
Yes, I guess I am.
All right. So you head in through the open doors, and just as what did I say, Norbin? I want to make sure I get this right. Very particular about this.
Norbis
Dazzlin.
and Dazzlin.
Dazzlin. Just as Dazzlin said, Norbis is the quiet, dour one. Just as Dazzlin said, right through this entrance, you come into an entry hall, and there is like a stone door tacked to the side, and just as he described, like when you see that this door that has been kind of spiked open with like little metal spikes, it is amazing. Even with all this time that has passed, this door is almost seamless. If it were closed, you're not sure you could find it. But it makes you aware of what they were talking about when they mentioned that this place was riddled with secret doors. You would not have seen that. You just would have seen like a normal entry hall.
Yeah, do try to keep an eye out, please. And I've actually got my sword out of its scabbard.
For what?
Yezreel, you're not dumb. You're far from stupid. Secret doors, traps, ochre jellies. Keep an eye open.
All right, all right. Lisa, what is Yezreel's perception? Just remind me.
Well, she doesn't have perception per se, and perception is a wisdom thing, so that's a +0 for her.
Let's see. Yeah, she doesn't. All right. Well, she'll keep an eye out, nevertheless. Oh, and I assume you're going to be doing the same?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So, for the record, because like this is the way I like to run things, it would be very easy for you for me to say, like, for you to say, I'm always looking for secret doors, but no, like I find that the way that tends to work is you have to remember to ask, to look, because in the excitement you'll often forget, and that naturally reflects your character's tendencies to forget as well. So Yezreel like sort of quickly takes a glance over this corridor that you're in right now, barely takes a glance at all, and just says, I don't see anything. And you can go ahead. You can go ahead and roll perception. You too see nothing, but maybe that's because all your attention is focused on the dark doorway ahead of you.
And we're focused on not getting dropped on by a jelly.
There you go. That's the spirit. So you move into the room beyond, and there is no light here, but of course, as both of you have dark vision, while everything is rendered in kind of shades of gray, actually there's even a little color in this room because of like light from the doorway. You enter into what was once clearly the main hall of the temple. Okay, let's get this displayed correctly. So a massive hallway, 4 columns with an altar at one end, and you can even see with the limited light available that the altar is stained a deep and ruddy red. And you don't have to make a perception check to spot the ochre jelly. You've never seen one before with your bare eyes, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that the giant, grotesque, dull yellow phlegm-like monstrosity spread across the top of the ceiling above the altar is what you're looking for. You can see it glistening in the light reflected from the distant doorway, and as it kind of pulsates and just barely undulates, almost like a pool of water that was in reverse gravity.
Okay, I'm kind of looking up at that.
Okay, 1 second. Let me go ahead and let's put him on the board. And yeah.
Ew.
Yep, it basically looks like
sludgy.
It looks like snot.
Okay, from what I from kind of what I had kind of rolled earlier, do I know anything about kind of like how these things are best fought? I mean, just can you hit them with a sword? Or are they kind of immune
No,
to?
generally speaking, like these things can be cut. They can be. You rolled like what, a 19?
Yeah.
They can't be slashed. You can generally do some damage with like a good stab, but like you do know that jellies are notorious for not responding well to slashing weapons.
So in other words, I'm gonna like put my sword away, which I probably would have done. So
I'm sorry to say
out one.
that, yeah, in this particular case, you know that the sword. That's one piece of information. You know that the sword is not going to help you here.
Okay, kind of remembering that, like kind of sheath my sword and pull out like one of my javelins, which is a piercing.
Yeah. What are you planning on doing?
I was planning on asking you to loose an arrow into that thing, see if we can't coax it down onto the floor.
Oh. So that it'll be on the floor where we are. You truly aim to fight it?
Yes.
All right. She pulls an arrow from her short bow and knocks it, draws back, and you notice her hands are trembling a little. But then she carefully takes a breath, aims, and releases the arrow. Go ahead and make an attack roll. You are trying to get armor. They're not hard to miss because they're huge. Armor class 8. Wow.
She's having a bad day.
So the arrow basically literally kind of nicks the edge of it, but it does hit. You can roll damage, and then we're going to roll initiative.
Do I like click on the little attack thing?
Yeah, you click on the attack thing itself. There you
we
go.
go.
Ooh, well, so like at least the way that the arrow apparently hit the ceiling and skidded through, and you see like a giant gash cut across, and this jelly ripples violently, and then in just one long thing, like a snot string, kind of extends and slumps onto the floor. Okay, so go ahead and roll initiative.
Okay, and we roll
Very
for...
nice.
Yezreel, where is your... There it is.
She's definitely nervous. And
I almost feel bad for her.
And right in the middle is our friend ochre.
Oscar the Ochre.
Okay, so Lisa, you are ready when you see this thing like ooze itself down onto the floor, and it starts immediately rolling across the ground towards you.
Okay, I have javelin in hand. I'm going to stab it with my javelin.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage. Roll attack, excuse me. All right, so as I say, it's not hard. It comes on, and the real worry is that it's going to just roll on to top of you. But you basically like stab it, and just like Yezreel's arrow, it goes right in, and it's almost like its mass. You can feel it literally puncture, and it kind of ripples away from the wound. Go ahead and roll damage. So very like solid hit. And let me see here. So basically, it roils away from this wound, and then a whole section of it bubbles up into like a pseudopod that lashes out at you because, well, you just stabbed it.
I did.
But you were able to easily kind of knock it away with your shield. Oh, excuse me. I just realized I'm getting old tabletop habits. I'm going to take that was a miss. I will roll future attacks like properly. But basically, like you bat the pseudopod out of the way with your shield, and it basically kind of recoils back. And now we come to Yezreel.
Who readies her short bow and tries again for another hit. She's not having a good day.
No, the arrow flies right over the top of this giant sort of undulating mass. And you're up.
Okay. All right, Kevin, I wanted, since I'm level 2 now, I want to do something fun with Divine Smite.
Okay. Tell the viewers at home what Divine Smite is.
Basically, with Divine Smite, I can use one of my spell slots to do an extra 2d8 radiant damage to on my attack. Do I spend that like before I roll 2 attacks?
Does it say in the description? Because that would be good to know.
One sec, let me look. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can expend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target. So
okay, yeah, it would have been cool otherwise.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna like poke it with my javelin again.
Okay. And again, you're unbalanced and maybe disturbed by this grotesque thing which you've never seen before, but it is slow and it is big.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll the javelin, and then I've got actually a little thing to roll, add Divine Smite after that.
Okay.
So javelin first, and now Divine Smite. Let's see if this works.
It did.
Ooh, nice.
16 points of damage. So Quel rears back with the javelin and kind of does this perfect lunge. And at that exact moment, this simple wooden javelin glows with radiance. And when it hits the creature, its flesh actually blackens and bubbles away. And the entire ochre jelly kind of recoils backwards away from you to the point where when it kind of tries to move around and lunges at Yezreel.
Okay, because she's right by me.
Yeah, but I mean, you clearly, like, its flesh is bubbling away even as it kind of moves around, sort of almost striking in retribution. You did a tremendous amount of damage. And does not come even close. Like, so Yezreel, like, what is Yezreel's AC? 14. Okay, yeah, so Yezreel kind of muffles a little shriek and sidesteps out of the way, and now she's up.
Okay, yeah, she is. She's obviously kind of, yeah, she's back. She's pulling that short bow. She's going to hit this time. I believe in her.
Oh, that's
She
sweet.
might not think so. She might not think so, but deep down, I believe.
I mean, she probably doesn't believe in you, but it's good that you believe in her because her arrow does in fact strike true. Go ahead and roll damage. Dang, you guys are really killing on the damage rolls today. Believe it or not, it is still not dead. As I said, if we were doing this as a full miniatures combat, this thing would take up 4 squares. It is a massive, undulating snot carpet.
Gross.
But she, once again, like it's starting to lose its consistency, and there's starting to be this disgusting liquid running off from the main mass, and there's a growing, really not pleasant smell.
Okay.
And you're up.
We can try to hopefully finish it off. I'm gonna do kind of a normal javelin strike. I've got only 1 spell slot left, and I might want to save that in case somebody needs healing.
Okay.
So javelin poke.
You know, it's a good thing that this thing is so very, very slow. But you basically kind of chase it down from where it was running away from you, and then jab it again right in the center mass. Roll damage. And you hit it once, and again, you feel that sense of like pressure as it kind of gives way, and then the whole thing starts to lose consistency. You take that opportunity and stab it repeatedly with the javelin, and that horrible stench spreads throughout the temple as the thing loses all consistency and essentially spreads out into a low, dull, yellow puddle. Lifeless. It's dead.
Ugh. Well,
That was horrible.
It smelled really bad, but that wasn't. I think the mushroom in the sewers was far worse. And I'm looking actually around just to see if there's anything else, any other jellies or anything hiding.
Okay, so when you say that, I mean, where are you looking?
I'm kind of eyeballing the ceiling and maybe kind of like walking around behind the altar, around the pillars.
Okay, just doing a real quick search. All right, Yezreel is just standing there.
Yezreel, you want to like search around, make sure there aren't any more of these? I would hate to have one surprise you.
She like is all pale and nods. And Lisa, go ahead and roll perception for me. I'm going to take Yezreel. Well, I mean, you're just gonna have to trust me, guys. But yeah, nat 20. Wait. Hey, there it is. Yep. She just rolled a nat 20.
Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, that wasn't patronizing at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it out loud. But hey, I didn't roll too bad either.
No, yeah. Actually, you rolled like surprisingly well as well, and guess who discovered some secret doors while looking for some ochre jellies?
Did Yezreel find a secret door?
Not quite. So you walk around, you walk behind the altar and see nothing, and then you basically head towards this corner of the room to see if, like, keeping your eye on the ceiling, and you notice something you almost missed, only because you were looking up in a certain way. You saw a slight line in the wall, and then, like, kind of like stepping back to examine it, you see another line.
Huh.
And 1 second, let me... secret door there.
Ooh.
Secret door there. And on a hunch, you basically kind of quickly dash across the hall past Yezreel, who seems to be like staring at a column, at one of the columns, and confirm yes, it matches.
Huh.
Yezreel's gone completely quiet.
Yezreel, are you all right?
There is a very cunning hidden door.
I'll kind of walk over to her and see if I can see what she's looking at.
She's looking at a long, narrow door of like carved into the column itself. The northeast column of the room has a little like high rectangular notch carved into it, and she's like running her fingers across the surface trying to get a feel, and finally makes a little sound like "ha," and she kind of presses the corner, and this little door, it's not big enough for a person to fit through, kind of like springs open, and a whole bunch of like yellow dwarven skulls tumble out of this like hidden crevice and like scatter across the floor.
That's a little startling. Yeah.
Oh, look inside it.
Okay.
So she does not want to cross over the pile of dwarven skulls, but you step gingerly, and just as she spied, there is a stone box at the very bottom of this column.
Okay, I will pick up the box.
Okay, it's very small. It's like about a foot on it, a foot by 6 inches, a like intricately little carved stone coffer.
Is it latched, locked? Does it?
No,
Can I
it just has a fitted lid.
open it up?
Okay, you put your fingernails under, pull it open, and see like a variety of uncut but clearly very valuable gemstones. Just looking at them, you're there. There's probably over 100 gold pieces in uncut gems.
Whoa.
Let me see. Yezro kind of leans over, eyes gleaming, and kind of paws through them.
That's a lot of gems. The Temple of Greed. Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I would. Do you think Divine Sense would sense if something was like, cursed or something? Like I'm picturing like a bunch of gems, like in the Temple for Greed.
I mean, like the divine sense. Like, look at the description of your character sheet. I believe it's only for used for detecting evil creatures. You would need like detect magic or something like that. They look normal, and of course that's the problem with cursed items. You can't always tell if cursed items. But for what it's worth, these don't feel. I mean, you know what? Truth is, you just don't know. They look normal. They look completely normal.
They look normal. They might be normal. Does Jezreel still like have the coffer?
No, she just was kind of like pawing through it. She didn't take him or anything.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna close it.
Okay.
It's really tempting, but I don't know. Something doesn't feel.
Well, technically, if you're being this site's being excavated by the dwarves.
You're right. Am I overthinking it?
Well, what I mean is like this isn't like you agreed to do something for them, and then you found this amazing treasure that they've clearly been looking for. Like it's clear that they're here to try to see if there's anything of value in the temple. So this wouldn't be a strict adventurers, finders, keepers situation based on the bargain you struck.
Right. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna I'll close the coffer and because I think I'm gonna bring it and carry it out towards the front.
Okay. Yezreel kind of trails behind you. Oh, should we keep a few as a kind of finder's fee?
If maybe the dwarves will agree to that.
So you exit back out and with the box and the thin dwarf that neither one of them have really moved, but like Dazzlin immediately gets back to his feet. Did you see it?
We saw it. We killed it. Did not see any more. We did find about four. Actually, there were 5 secret doors in there. This was in one of them, and I kind of hand the coffer over.
He holds it, and at this point, Norbin finally stands up as well, and they both Norbis, excuse me. They both look in and then look at them, and before you, I mean, they're very skilled at this. Before you do anything, they've got them laid out. They've got them laid out by type, by size, and Norbin studies them for a moment. Say, 150 gold pieces thereabouts, and so Norbin grins. And he does at Norbis. Dazzlin. Dazzlin grins, looks at you, quickly reaches down, grabs 2 small uncut emeralds, and then passes them to you. This is in addition to our agreement. Thank you for this. So, Lisa, you'll want to note that you have 2 gemstones. Each one's worth 10 gold pieces.
1 sec, 2. Oh, I'm noting that down. You said 10 gold each?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what did you say? Okay.
2 gemstones, 10 gold pieces each.
Okay, noted that down.
And a Bottergan is a Bottergan, and he hands you the bundle of sending stones. And this is going to be a little awkward. It's not going to show up fully like on the screen, but this I actually did make a full sort of little briefing thing. So I'm going to make that visible now so you can just see it. There it is.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, very fun little little device.
Basically, almost like a magic walkie-talkie.
Yeah, except you can only use it once a day, but like invaluable for quickly communicating over long distances.
Okay, well, I will set that bundle and the 2 gems into my pack, and like I said, well, like I said, we did find some secret doors in there. As I said, did not find any other ochre jellies.
So you explored the passages then and confirmed they're clear.
Would you like us to?
I mean, the deal was to clear the temple of ochre jellies. Not that I'm saying, but if you found other doors.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It's been a long day. Now I'll like head back inside.
Without like another word, you turn.
No. He was. The thing is, I actually feel kind of bad because he was right. They should have. I got all excited and confused by the skulls.
Like if it makes you feel any better, he was clearly thrilled about you finding the hidden cache with like the coffer of gems. So that it makes perfect sense that you would have rushed back out to show him.
I'm still new at this. Just remember that.
I mean, like the beautiful thing about your half-orc complexion is that it doesn't really blush in a noticeable way, which is really helpful in situations like this.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's head back inside and.
Oh wait, by the way, Lisa, Robbie is on. Catch 0. Nice to see you. Yes, she is doing very well from the dentist, which is one of the reasons why we are celebrating with a session of Dice Pirates Do It. Okay, so you head back inside to the temple, and you can see from the map where extra doors are. Where would you like to explore?
Let's start. Hold on. Let's start that one up at the top.
The very top. Okay, so you basically like go through, and you come into a short corridor that ends in a T intersection. One of them. Blocked off by rubble. The other one ends in a dusty door that doesn't look like it's been opened in a very long time. Now, you can immediately infer, based on what you're seeing here, that the passageway that is collapsed connects up with the rubble-filled room that you passed on the entranceway moments ago.
Okay, well, that's convenient. Let's go check out the door, see if we can open that.
Okay, give me 1 second. Where am I looking here? This door is a simple carved stone door, and it doesn't look like it's like got a lock on it or anything. It simply responds to like a heavy sort of push.
All right, push her open.
All right, so this door opens onto what appears to have once been some sort of bed chamber, and you see 3 stone beds, like frames, obviously. Any bedding is long since rotted, pushed up against the wall. You don't see anything else on quick inspection.
Okay, do want to like kind of like take a walk through the room, just keeping an eye, looking, making sure nothing nasty is hiding, like particularly looking at the.
Okay, go ahead and make another perception check for me. You look under the beds, you look past the bedsides, under the rubble, and just find nothing else of interest here. Whatever was once here is long since gone.
Okay, so it's all right. In that case, if it's not connecting anywhere else, we'll kind of head out and check out kind of the door near that.
Okay, so this passageway.
Right.
All right, so this passageway curves around and kind of like mirrors the other one, sorry, mirrors the recessed area behind the altar. And I want you to go ahead and make perception checks both for you and for Yezreel.
All right, me. And Yezreel's just wisdom.
Okay. So you don't like so this is basically, again, you get you get as far as the marker on the map, but you can again infer that it must loop around to the easternmost secret door. The corridor otherwise doesn't feel, it feels kind of extraneous, but you don't really get much of a chance to do a deep search because Yisrael, suddenly you're aware that she's gripping your arm and she says, "Look," and she points down the corridor towards the rubble at the far end, and you can see it beneath a thin layer of gravel, a telltale yellow glistening of an ochre jelly.
Okay. Good spot.
Cramped in here.
You think you can get an arrow into it?
She looks at it for a second. Maybe I should go around to the other side?
Good idea.
Okay, so you draw and ready your javelin, still coated with ichor from the other one, as she sort of runs around from the other side, and after about a minute, you realize she's probably there, but she hasn't really shouted to let you know, and you don't know, and you never told her if she's supposed to start the combat, or...
You know what? It's fine. Poke it.
Okay, so you basically, to get things moving, stride forward and give it a stab. Go ahead and make an attack roll. Definitely hit, and doing a very respectable 9 points of damage.
Stabity.
So you basically do that, and as it does, the whole thing ripples, and rocks get thrown off as it recoils, and we're going to go ahead and roll initiative. Okay, you two are definitely more prepared this time.
Yay!
Okay. All right, and you basically can immediately turn and attack it again.
Okay, another javelin stab.
Definitely hit. Roll damage. 6 more points. So in 2 titanic sort of thrusts, you basically jab it, force it out from underneath the rock pile, and then kind of stab it again all the way through to the wall, and feel that give, and you know that you're dealing serious damage to it.
Good. Now, Yezreel, who I'm assuming actually did get into place, will draw her short bow and try to put an arrow into it.
Okay. Ha! Well, it's a dirty crit.
Yay!
Dirty 20. That's beautiful. Yeah, the arrow flies right into the center of the thing. Dang, you guys are killing on the damage rolls.
We're doing great tonight.
Okay, and you did 6. Yep, got that down. All right, so it basically since Yezreel's about 15, 20 feet away, it turns and makes a strike at you. Not my ochre jellies are not doing great tonight. I guess they've grown fat and lazy in this cold temple. But it swings another pseudopod, doesn't come anywhere close to connecting.
Okay, I'll get stab at it with my javelin again.
Go for it.
Not.
Yeah, still hits. 6 more points. It is looking decidedly more sluggish and like your sudden sort of surprise attack.
Yeah, these things got to be cleared out like vermin. Okay, Yezreel's gonna loose another arrow.
Okay. Yep, beautiful. Roll damage.
Beautiful. Bang! Yeah, we are kicking butt.
You really are. So, another arrow comes flying right in just as you stab it from the other side, and the whole thing is, kind of wobbling, but nevertheless, it's going to make another effort to, hit you. Dear
That's
gosh.
a no.
I'm like rolling the exact opposite of everything you're rolling. This ochre jelly is disappointing me as a DM. Yeah, that's a sad miss. It doesn't even come close, and you're up again.
Okay. Stab.
Oh yeah. And with like that, after it's one sort of like lazy swipe, you basically stab it, and once again loses coherency, and you finish it off with 3 more quick jabs. And aside from a horrible stench, the hallway is now clear of ochre jellies.
Okay. They really do smell bad, don't they?
Yes, they really do. I can smell the other one in here.
Okay, well, I'll head out to the main thing, and we have one more door to check. One more passage.
All right. So you head down, and just like the other one, it goes into a T intersection, ending in a door, just like the first one. This passage is intact.
I bet that's. I bet that ends over by the main entrance and a door we didn't find.
Do you wish to confirm that?
No, not yet. Let's go the other way first.
Okay, so you basically push through into a second door, and this one is another room that looks like it was the first one, and it looks partially collapsed. To the point where if there was even anything like bedding or whatnot in here, you can't see it. It's mostly just rubble.
Okay. I do want to check the rubble for any more jellies. They like to hide in rubble, apparently.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. I'm going to roll for Yezreel. Quickly looking over, there's not much to see in this room aside from rubble, but you turn over a few loose stones and the like and find the room empty. Nothing of value.
Okay, nothing of value. No disgusting, smelly. Anyway.
No.
Good. All right, we'll head back and the other way and see if it ends into that main path.
Your suspicions are correct, and it does end in another cunningly concealed secret door.
Whoever built this temple loved their symmetry.
No complaints here.
Okay, well, now I'm sure it's clear. So I'll use that to head out.
So you basically find the 2 dwarves just engrossed with these gems. One of them is Norbin's got the little Norbis has got the little jewel thing peering at them, and Dazzlin sort of takes himself away and kind of walks over to you. So is it clear?
Now it's clear.
All right. Did you find any other goodies?
Didn't find any other valuables. Did find one other jelly, but we dispatched it. I'm sorry about the smell. It's pretty bad. But didn't find much of anything else. Of course, I'm not a professional excavator or archaeologist. Or is archaeologist a term that's used?
Not really. No. Not typically. Not commonly. This is not World of Warcraft.
Well, it's not the modern,
Aye, excavation is our job, and you've done great to find all the secret passages, but I got the feeling there's probably still a few more in there. We'll take our time.
Okay, but well, do keep in mind the warning about the dragon, and be careful.
Aye, that we will. Enjoy this was a fortunate meeting for both of us. We will keep our eyes out on the dragon. If the interior is now clear, maybe we'll move our camp in there to be on the safe side. Thank you for your warning and your help. You're a service to the Light League.
I tried. shake hands if he'll shake hands,
Yeah, he will.
and clasp hands, and we'll head out.
So Yezreel's like, as you guys walk out into the open air and past that first wall, she basically is like, well, I'm glad we don't have to be in that stuffy hole anymore.
Not even gonna. No, I'm not. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond to every single
Well,
comment.
I mean, to be fair, that's what she wasn't even directing it at you. That actually, legitimately, wasn't her just being obnoxious. That was a genuine just expression of how gross it was in there. So I'm just like, based on what I pictured, that actually was not an out of character. Like it was pretty gross in there.
Yes, it was, but you know, this is part of our job.
I mean, you certainly take it seriously, though. I mean, maybe again, you can't help but agree it was really gross in there. I just, I'm not trying to defend Yezreel. Just saying, in this particular case, that's probably the first snarky thing that might actually be justified.
Fair enough.
Okay, so as you basically like make your way out heading towards the exit of the canyon, I want you to roll perception for both of you.
Me first? No.
Wow. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say that what basically happened here is that you were like basically muttering to yourself, relieved to be out of danger and away from the ochre jellies, and also a little bit distracted by your thoughts about Yezreel, whether Yezreel's comment was really valid. Even if it was valid, you still got a terrible attitude in general, and you unfortunately are only aware that there is a problem. Well, when a javelin runs right into your shoulder.
Ow!
Yeah, that was very nearly a full crit. So let's go ahead and roll some damage. So, like from out of nowhere, you're basically like trying to figure out what this is, and a javelin just arcs out from behind the rubble and jabs you right in the shoulder. And in that moment, like you see, of course, too late now, the two orcs. Like there's something a little odd about them, but you know we'll go into that if you survive. Just remind me. And they basically like have caught you both completely flat-footed, and you are very much surprised.
Yes.
So we're gonna roll initiative, but the orcs will be going first, and then we'll like run it back around. Nat 20 on the orcs. The dice have turned on you.
Oh no.
20. Yezreel. Actually, Yezreel rolled really well. Wow, Yezreel is actually still going to be technically going first because she rolled because of her dexterity. And, you know, you did pretty good. You did pretty good. You should feel pretty good about yourself.
I mean, considering I have a -1 on my initiative rolls, I think pretty good.
It was totally respectable, just not as respectable as those other two rolls. So the orcs immediately, like, having caught you by surprise, one of them howls in triumph, and drawing their great axes, like, they basically charge one towards each of you. So one orc swings his great axe going for you. But like misses. Pure instinct. You bring your shield up. The axe slams into it, and it's so hard you can feel it all the way up into your shoulder blade. And but like your shield holds. The other orc swings at Yezreel and connects.
Yeah, that's a connect.
Dealing 5 slashing damage to the elf. She cries out in pain, staggers back, like, pulling her dagger as she does so. And now it is her turn.
Okay. She has a sword. She has a sword.
Oh, my bad. Short sword. She draws her short sword.
Okay, yeah. She draws a short sword and tries to make with the stabbing.
Oh no. Oh no. It's happening. You're making ochre jelly rolls.
Well, it's maybe she'll do better later. She's warm
Super
up.
distracted, just got hit by an axe. She did get the sword clear and managed to like take a half-hearted swipe, but it did not connect. The orcs go back again, each one parrying off toward like going after each of you. And the orc connects once again, hitting you with a vast, mighty blow that gets past your shield and does 15 points of damage.
Fortunately,
Oh,
I have relentless endurance, so it's
indeed. That takes
so,
your hit points down to 1.
Ow.
Maybe his companion won't do as well. And he does not. Yezreel manages to like nimbly sidestep.
Okay. So that's not good.
No.
Hang on. I'm gonna cure wounds myself.
Okay, now how many hit points does your cure wounds do?
My cure wounds does 1d8 plus 2. You're right. My lay on hands would actually do a straight up 10. So yeah, I guess I should do. Let's see. Number of hit points equal to my level times 5. So
yeah,
I guess you should lay on hands.
Yeah. So you basically like draw upon the support of Ilmater, and like as you stagger back in agony, you like put your hand over the gaping wound in your upper arm, and like the wounds magically close instantly, healing 10 hit points.
Back up to 11, slightly over halfway.
There you go. That's the spirit. Oh wait, oh, that's right. Okay, and then we swing back around to Yezreel.
Yep. And Yezreel like swings her short sword at the orc that's threatening her.
Their armor class is 13, so she just hits. And does 4 points of damage. So the orc, like, finally, in this relentless assault, the orc finally, like, gets staggered back by when her short sword gets past his defense and gives him a nice little jab in the chest. Okay. And orcs are up. One swings its axe at you. Dang, this orc is good. Dealing you 7 more points of damage. Clearly the leader of this duo.
Clearly.
The other orc strikes again at Yezreel. And also hits. Dealing 7 points of damage. Is she up?
She is up. I am doing.
I think you forgot to push the button.
Button.
There you go. I thought you saw.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did. I guess I did. Yeah. So we're both at like 4 hit points each.
It's not great, ladies and gentlemen. The rules for sidekicks are a little uneven because the book specifically says that you're only supposed to have one sidekick, and in our experience, while that might be great for ochre jellies, the tide can turn if the dice just play a little mean. But you're not done yet.
No. I mean,
you both have healing potions, and I think it's safe to say that at this point, Yezreel will use hers. Essentially, yeah. You just need the orcs to stop rolling, 19s, 18s, 17s. I don't think, I've rolled ridiculous. 17, yeah. 24, 23, 23.
Let's see. Health potion, it's 2d4 plus 2.
Correct.
Okay, I'll I've got one. Yezel's got one. I'll chug one, and then she'll chug one on her turn.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead and instead of attacking, you're just trying to hold them off while you quickly quaff the potion. 5 hit
It's
points, 7.
7. Okay.
Hey, doesn't that get you back up to 11?
Back up to 11. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Now Yezel's gonna like quaff.
Okay, Yezreel gains 7 as well.
Now we're both back up to 11. That's awesome.
It is awesome. Just in time for the orcs to attack. One, he backs you up again, swings,
Sewers all over again.
and rolls a 12. You bat it away with the shield.
Thank you, Mater.
The other orc swings and hits 14. What is it? 14.
He hits.
And unfortunately does hit Yezreel. 1 second. Oh my gosh. Yezreel is now down.
Yes, Yezreel is at. I guess that's a -1.
She's basically at 0. They don't really do. There's not really negative hit points as long as she's not slain outright. She'll now start to make saving throws to avoid dying.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to try to hit the orc that's on me. I mean, can I? Far away she is. I can't. Can I go over there and try to like heal her, bring her back up, or am I?
Yes.
gonna
No. You use like cure light wounds. You guys are basically right next to one another. So there's no opportunity attacks or anything like that. You're both just kind of paired up in like a ragged line. So
okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got like one more spell slot for cure wounds.
So basically, batting away the other orc, you watch as Yezreel goes down beneath like a great axe, and 1 second, and you like call upon your faith once more to try and like quickly heal her, and get her back on her feet.
Ow.
I mean, she's up.
So she's at 3.
That's right. Now, I believe you both have a couple of healing potions each.
Yes.
If you subdivide it, so theoretically, like she could take another healing potion. It's just the orcs have essentially got to stop rolling 18s, 19s, and 20s.
They really do, and yeah, I think she will because the three hit points. She's still grievously, terribly wounded. Grievously wounded.
Okay, so there is a little bit of good news. This is the 3rd round. So at this point, like just as you lay hands on Yezreel and see her stir back, she suddenly shakes her head and quickly staggers back to her feet just in time to like take up a defensive stance against the orc. Hold on a second. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like you see, much like how you got hit, like by a javelin, a crossbow quarrel fired from over your heads, like thunks right into the chest of the orc attacking Yezreel. And you can only surmise that it must be one of the dwarves firing from behind you.
Oh, that's really excellent.
All right. Oh, and honestly, rolling a little bit better than you guys are.
We used up all our luck on those jellies, man.
I'm starting to think that is in fact the case. So it is still up, but it is hurting.
Okay, so it's Yezreel's turn now.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine she's going to like suck down another health potion. She can't go down again. So that's another. Hold on, I got a note down. Okay, so it's another 2d4 plus 2.
Average is a little better than average. So 7 more hit points.
She's up to 10.
Just in time for our friends, the orcs.
Yay.
So the first one, once again, swings its axe at you. And again, your shield blocks the blow. The other one, a bit staggered by the surprise crossbow quarrel, still squares up and swings at Yezreel. And she just manages to dodge.
Yay.
And for the
Finally.
first time in many rounds, you don't have to spend your turn healing or trying not to die.
Excellent. So at this point, I will slash my longsword at the orc in front of.
Okay, go for it. Oh, now that is more like it. Definitely hit. They're wearing like crude hide armor, so the armor class is 13. You can go ahead and roll damage. 6 points of slashing. So for the first time, you managed to get past his defenses, rock him back on his heels, and managed to score a sizable slash across his belly.
Excellent.
And let's see how our dwarf prospectors with their one light crossbow can do. What am I doing? Wow. Okay, well, look. They're commoners. They're not,
No, they're not adventurers.
It's a defensive thing. So you hear another thwack, and you watch a crossbow quarrel kind of fly 30 yards off the shoulder of one of the orcs. It's not even in the same zip code.
No, fair.
And it's Yezreel's turn.
All right, she swings her short sword.
And hits.
Nice.
So taking advantage of the orcs, infinitesimal distraction from that crossbow quarrel, Yezreel quickly dodges under and with like a loud yell drives the short sword home up under the armor. The orc falls to his knees and slumps to the ground, dead.
Yay. That's one down.
And then the other orc, not aware of the threat now on his flank, still focuses on trying to take you down. But misses. Now you've got his speed. Your block once more.
Okay, I block and come around to strike with my sword.
And hit. And that is exactly how many hit points he had remaining. So, as I say, you got his speed. You block. He comes in. You sidestep at a critical juncture and get him right under the armpit. Through, out, clean kill. The orc is slain. Are you all right?
Yes, thank you for the assistance.
I did what I could. I'm not very good with this contraption.
Oh, you hit when it needed to be hit.
Glad I could help. That is you don't see where I always get this wrong. Norbus is. That was
Norbus.
Dazzlin. He was standing on top of one of the excavation piles. He quickly scrambles down and comes to make sure that you two are all right, which you are barely.
Well, that was a little harder than the jellies.
This is trouble. We haven't had any problems with orcs or goblins. I don't know where these came from.
Possibly from the mountain. The dragon. Yesterday, I talked to a manticore.
What?
And
A manticore?
a manticore. It had been driven from its territory by the dragon. I would not be surprised if other creatures are being on the move because of the dragon moving in.
We'll definitely pull our camp inside. It's imperative we continue to stay here to research the dig now that you found all the secret doors. So we'll keep our camp inside and we'll stay quiet. But I feel like we'll probably have to leave within the next few days now. Lisa, make a perception check. Yeah, literally very perceptive, but also figuratively very perceptive because your guess made that actually a really easy check, which you cleared. I mentioned that the orcs looked a little odd. They looked odd because usually when you see orcs, they're always in full battle gear, ready to charge. This orc is still wearing a crude bedroll and a backpack, like a traveling pack. And you almost never see that with orcs because mostly you encounter them as war bands or raiding parties. This orc actually is equipped for longer travel.
Yeah, look, I think this one, they're traveling. They're moving. Oh, actually, they checked the pack. Their packs.
Some gross like half rotten meat, but there is like a pouch with some gold, and when you finish searching them, you come up with 8 gold pieces,
Yeah. Okay.
3 electrum pieces,
Okay.
9 silver pieces,
Got it.
and 14 copper.
Got it.
Now, suffice it to say, before you head back out and try to get to Phandalin, which you could just make by just after nightfall if you go now, you might want to take a 15-20 minute short rest.
Yeah.
You each have up to 2 hit dice to try and use. So do you want to start using some hit dice to heal?
Yes. How do I do this on?
So just find out what your hit die is and then just roll it raw.
Oh, I'm I'm looking to see where it is on the sheet here. Hit die 2.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. It says. I mean, you're a paladin.
Yeah. I am literally trying to
Wow.
look where.
No. Yeah. That's not on you. It should just be there. And I feel a little bad because I feel like I should just automatically know this. But hold on, I'm actually looking this up right now just to make sure. Your hit die is, oh my gosh, D10.
Oh wait,
it's D10.
I just found it on the print on the level 1 printout here. So just roll a D10.
Yep. So you heal 7 more hit points, and you have the option to roll a second D10 as well.
Well, I mean, I actually only because that brings me 7 points from 11 brings me up to 18, which is almost my max.
Okay, so it's just so you don't have to take it. So you want to roll for Yezreel as well?
Yes. Oh, hold on. Yezreel has 16 to 10. Yeah. I really don't see her hit thing either.
Ah, that's right. She is an.
Oh, well, 2D looks like an 8 D8.
That sounds correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's D8. So she heals 4 hit points.
So she's also almost at max. So I guess we're both good right now.
So bruised, battered, but with your wounds bound, after 15-20 minutes, you are in reasonably decent shape and ready to travel.
Yep. As soon as we are, we'll head back towards Phandalin.
Okay, being very, very careful. Right when you get to the door, the big outer wall, and just before you get ready to head through, Yezreel says, "Wait."
I stop immediately. Look at her.
You're very tall, and you're quite loud. I'll go first to scout the way.
Okay, I'll nod. Kind of just gesture.
So she slips through the door first and leads off by about 15-20 feet, and you follow as quietly as you can.
At something of at least slightly of a distance, so I'm not right on top of her, ruining up her stealthy.
Right, but close enough that you could get close if you had to.
Absolutely.
So you head out, and while you are nervous, while you keep scanning the now darkening skies, and now also looking into the thick overgrowth once you exit out of the canyon, looking for the signs of traveling bands of orcs, probably pushed out of the Sword Mountains the same way the Manticore was, you slowly make your way back to Phandalin. And let's go to the map. Oh, wait, I always do that. Gotta drag everything over. Here we go. And after several hours, after the sun has set, you cross over a hill and spot torches and lights, and the town of Phandalin peaceful under the stars, having encountered nothing on your way. Weary and exhausted, you re-enter the Stonehill Inn.
Yep. It is like nighttime.
Oh yeah. It's actually like you were walking in the dark for the last hour. Of course, with dark vision you can still see just in gray, but like you always get a little nervous once the sun goes down, especially in the wilds.
Yes, and I'll save the visit to Harbin Wester's house for the morning. I don't think I have the energy to deal with him tonight.
So heading inside. Both exhausted. Even Yezreel doesn't have enough energy to be snarky. She just looks tired. Toblin Stonehill seems to immediately see like how tired, how exhausted you are, and makes sure to spend special care to get you like fresh hot stew and bread, and gives you extra.
I thank him. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. It's been a long day.
Your friend retired about 2 hours ago, but he did inquire.
Okay. He didn't give you any trouble, did he?
He asked, but I didn't give him any ale, and he only asked once.
Good.
So with another successful day, though perhaps one more fraught with impending doom, you have now completed another task, and when your character awakens in the morning, you will be level 3. And we will cover that jump like in our next quest, or next journey forth. I believe that brings us to our stopping point. So this is where we'll leave things. Now, Lisa and I are getting ready to go on a family vacation next week. So I'm not sure when the next episode of this is going to be up, but like hopefully we're going to bring it back, and we want to do at least 5 of these before we kind of give a full review of the sidekick system. Hope you're enjoying watching. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. That one was a fraught one.
Just a little bit. Definitely got a little overconfident with the with the jellies.
Fun fact, little spoilery for those who have never done this before, but you did a great job making that like nature roll. If you'd made any lower, I would not have given you that information. I wanted you to get at least a DC 15, but if you had actually struck the ochre jelly with a sword, it would have split to 2.
Oh, fun!
So I just wanted to.
I knew that roll.
You were luckier than you know when it came to the ochre jellies. All right, everyone. As a reminder, you can find us sporadically on social media. I am at FlamFlynn on Twitter and FlynnFlam82 on Instagram. And Lisa?
Hyena has.
Wow, it's actually at HasHyena.
See, I confused myself. I'm confused. Okay, that's all. One is actually my display name, and the other one's actually Twitter name. So.
And on that beautiful note, see, we desperately need vacations. Bye, everybody. Keep your flagons full and your dice warmed up.